What's up guys, Josiah LaRue here. So today we're going to be talking about back to school. I know I said it, that dreaded word, school. No one really wants to think about it, but it's coming soon. For a lot of people, they're already starting school, and if not, they're going to be going back in the next couple weeks. So let's talk about some of the technology you're going to want to buy when going back to school this year. So first, let's start off with laptops. Now, what laptop you should buy is really going to depend on your use for the laptop through the school year. If you're looking for just something that's lightweight, you can stick in a backpack, it's just for taking notes or for doing papers or surfing the web or whatever, an Ultrabook is going to be great for you. These things are typically 13 to sometimes 15, but typically 11 to 13 inches, so a smaller screen, but they have great battery life, 6 to 8 hours plus. They have pretty good power. They're very lightweight, typically 1 to 3 pounds. You can just shove it in a backpack, you really don't even feel it. So they're overall great laptops. That being said, they're not going to be as performance heavy, so you're not going to be doing like gaming or a lot of content use or whatever else. It's just for notes, for some light multimedia, etc. Just an overall lightweight laptop. These things are not necessarily the cheapest, kind of in the mid-range, $300 to $500 to $600, but overall they're great laptops, lightweight, going to last you a long time. So yeah. Ultrabook is great for those who just want something light just to throw in their backpack. Some recommended brands for Ultrabooks: Dell, HP, Asus, all make some really great Ultrabooks for a pretty reasonable price. So those are the brands that I would recommend. Secondly, if you don't necessarily care about weight but definitely want to save your pennies, then a low-end laptop is going to be probably right for you. These things may weigh a little bit more, probably going to get a little bit less battery life and a little bit less performance. You're going to be spending a lot less than an Ultrabook or a higher end machine. Typically $200 to $400 is a great lower end machine. Again, brands for this would be Asus, Toshiba, Dell, HP. They all have lower end notebooks. A lot of them are on sale at Walmart, Staples, etc. right now for $300 to $400. Just when you're going in there, make sure you have a couple things. First, make sure it's at least a dual core processor, so that's at least 2 logic processors. And secondly, that it has at least 4 gigs of RAM. So that way you're not bottlenecking, so that you have the performance to do multimedia for notes, for web browsing, or whatever. So you're not complaining about a slow computer down the road when you're trying to do term papers at the end of the quarter and your computer's not keeping up. Make sure that you spend, if you have to, spend a little bit extra to make sure that you get that good computer that'll last you at least this year and hopefully for a couple of years to come. And finally, if money's not necessarily an object, or if you're willing or able to spend a little bit extra, I would recommend the Apple line. The MacBook Air is their answer to the Ultrabook. These things start at about $1,000, but they are super lightweight, super powerful, super fast. And the nice thing about Apple is that they hold the retail value very high, so that even if you were to sell this device down the road in a couple of years, you're still going to be able to sell it at least 80% of what you bought it for. So that's really great. So yes, they have their MacBook Air for the Ultrabook line, and then for their higher end, more powerful machines, they have the MacBook Pro line. And these machines are a little bit thicker, a little bit heavier, but they have way more processing power and way more storage, so you can use them for content editing, for graphics design, for multimedia, for pretty much anything. So MacBooks are definitely great. However, if you want a powerful machine but still want to stay Windows, there are several higher end notebooks that you can get. HP, Lenovo, Asus with their ROG, or Republic of Gamers, which is yes branded for gamers, but is still a very powerful system that a lot of people who aren't playing games at all, who just want a powerful system, are getting, as well as Razer or HP. They all have higher end machines. Again, all these higher end machines are going to probably cost you at least $1,000 to $1,500, but you're buying a notebook that has a lot of power, decent battery life, not as much as like an Ultrabook or whatever, but decent battery life. But the main thing is just the power and performance of these machines that allow you to do this higher end stuff, such as multimedia content or graphic design or whatever. So, and if you want to relax, gaming on the side. Most of these machines will also do gaming pretty good as well. Next thing you're going to want is a good smartphone. Now personally, as I've probably said in several of my videos before, and as I've probably shown you, I love Apple. I have an iPhone 5C right here, and Apple is the phone that I would recommend to any new phone buyer. These devices are great. They are easy to use, very easy to learn if you've not used a smartphone before. They have the world's largest collection of apps. If you already have an iPod or other Apple device, all of your content is going to sync over to your iPhone very well, so there's that. Anything in the Apple ecosystem, as they call it, so any Apple device, whether you have a Mac, an iPod, an iPhone, anything, they all just sync together very well, so there's that. I recommend the iPhone. However, Apple is coming out with new iPhones on September 9th, 2014. So if you're viewing this video before, please wait until that date, if possible, before buying your phone, just to see what the new devices that are coming out and whether you should pay the money. However, if you can't wait, I would definitely recommend going with the iPhone 5S. It's their flagship model right now, but because we're right on the heels of a refresh, you're going to get great deals on this very powerful phone. However, if you don't want to go Apple and you already have an Android, or you just want to go Android, the top 3 phones that I would recommend on the Android side are the HTC One M8, the Samsung Galaxy S5, or the Google Nexus 5. These are all premium top-tier phones in the Android market. They all have their pros and their cons. Some of them I've already reviewed in previous videos, some of them I have not. But I would definitely recommend going to a store like the Best Buy Mobile Store, Radio Shack, or some other electronics store where you can get your hands on even just a dummy model and see how they feel. Most of these devices are going to be at least 5 inches, so they're definitely going to be larger phones, but they're going to be powerful and phones that will last you for several years to come, or at least the 2 years that your contract is going to be. If you want to save a little bit of money, the Motorola E and Moto X phones, both by Motorola, are a little bit lower end, but still fairly well spec'd out Android phones. So there are options, the higher end and the middle tier as well. And next, let's talk about some accessories. So you got your laptop, you got your phone. What are some accessories to combine them all together? Well, first of all, you're going to need portable storage, whether it's running documents or movies or just whatever. Portable storage is really nice. So a flash drive, a little USB thumb drive for portable data is something I definitely recommend to every college or high school student or whatever. 16 gigs, I think nowadays is the minimum. Storage is dirt cheap nowadays with pennies per gigabyte. So finding cheap, larger models is very easy. Right now I know at Walmart they're running lots of deals on 8 and 16 gigs. I definitely recommend 16, but if you want to go 8, that's okay too. Brands that I recommend, Corsair and SanDisk. Both of these are very reliable. I've used both their products. I recommend the Corsair. They're a little bit more expensive, but SanDisk is also very great. The warranties from both companies are great. I've had to replace a device from each because of mainly just maluse on my part, but they replaced it just fine, and so I definitely recommend Corsair or SanDisk. Other ones are okay, you're just not going to get that warranty and that reliability for long-term use. Secondly, phone dock / alarm clock. What better way than to charge your phone, listen to music, and hopefully get you up on time than a phone dock. So there are iPhone models and Android models. The main difference is the connector. Apple uses their proprietary Lightning connector, while most Android phones use the just standard micro USB cable, so there is going to be a difference. I'm going to include some links in the description down below for 2 models one for iPhone, one for Android, that I suggest or recommend. You know, they're not too expensive, but they get the job done and they're pretty reliable from the brand and the price. You know, and based on those, you can then search through Amazon for other models, you know, if you want to go with a specific brand or more features or whatever. But yeah, I have one, and I definitely like being able to charge my phone, listen to music if I want, and then also have it integrated with an alarm clock. And finally, a backpack to put all your gear in, as well as your textbooks and whatever else. Now, some of the colleges I've been to actually provide backpacks for their students, but if your school does not provide a backpack for you, here's what I recommend. First of all, make sure your laptop that you buy or already have fits in the backpack. Most laptops nowadays vary from 13 to 15 inch, so make sure you have a backpack that's probably at least an inch bigger or at least a ½ inch or whatever, so make sure your backpack says it fits at least 15 to 16 inch notebooks so that your laptop fits in the backpack without a problem. Secondly, make sure that you have one that has plenty of compartments, a big one for your books as well as a smaller one for extra gear or whatever. Brands that I recommend, Targus for the lower end, They have pretty reliable products, not necessarily the highest quality, but definitely good value for the money that you're buying it for. Or Swiss Gear. A lot of you have probably heard of Swiss Gear before. They are a Swedish company that produces very high-end and high-quality products. I have one of their backpacks. I actually bought it secondhand from someone else. It was already in pretty good condition, and that thing has lasted me for years now. Very reliable. I've done some things I probably shouldn't have with the backpack, and it just keeps going. Not a scratch, not a tear, nothing. Very highly durable and reliable product. So if you want a backpack that'll last you all of your high school and college career, go with Swiss Gear. Not going to be the cheapest, but definitely a great investment for the future. And finally, let's talk about gaming. So school is very important, but sometimes it's also good to unwind and relax and play a little bit of games on the weekends or when you don't have an upcoming test or something. So let's talk about gaming. Well, everybody knows the Xbox One versus the PS4. I talked before how the PS4 is doing a little bit better than the Xbox One, although the Xbox One is catching up with some of these Xbox-only releases or whatever. It really depends on what you already have, or what kind of fanboy you are. PS4 versus Xbox. Each has their pros and each has their cons. But what are the other options? Well, Wii U is one. I think a lot of people discount the Wii as, oh, it's just motion throw around stuff. That's not it. That's the original Wii. The Wii U has definitely come way better than the original Wii was. It runs current gen platform games with like Call of Duty and Assassin's Creed and other games like that. The graphics are actually pretty good. You can not only play on the game tablet, not like the current gen ones, but like regular Wii games, or you can play it up on the TV. And Wii U also has the popular games such as Mario Kart 8, Super Mario Smash Bros, Zelda, some of the other very popular game franchises that are only available on Nintendo. So Wii U, not for everyone, but if you like that nostalgia or even want to be able to run current gen games, not everyone, but a lot, Wii U might be a platform that you could check out for at least half the price of the other next gen consoles. And finally, PC gaming. PC gaming is near and dear to me because that's what I use and what I enjoy. So if you don't already have like a gaming desktop and don't want to have one, you don't have space in your dorm room or at home or whatever, and you want something portable that you can play games, do work on, or whatever, then a gaming laptop is for you. There are several options for this. Asus has their ROG line, which I talked about earlier. These are going to be 17-inch machines. They're pretty thick, but they're very beefy, they're very powerful, they stay cool. MSI has some GTX series, their gaming line. Alienware has theirs. They've been around for a good long time. They're a very popular brand. Personally, I recommend Asus and then MSI above Alienware, but they're all pretty equal-ish. And finally, Razer. Razer, known for its peripherals, just got into the actual hardware market a couple years ago with their Razer Blade 14 and 17-inch models. These machines are amazing. Unfortunately, they're about expensive as a MacBook Pro, which kind of puts them out of the range of a lot of gamers, but if you can spend that, you're getting a machine that's is thin and is great build quality as an Apple machine, but it's Windows and it plays games with amazing hardware specs. So Razer, definitely like the premium and top of the market, and if you can afford it, you're getting great value for a pretty high price. But then, if you want to step it down, Asus, ROG, MSI, Alienware. So you got options. You can play games on the road or wherever you want to, plus do school or whatever else. These machines are not light, except for the Razer Blades, but they're powerful and they're worth the investment if you want something that can do multimedia content, gaming, school, and everything else in between. So yeah guys, that's my back to school guide for tech. Let me know in the comment box down below, was there anything else I should have talked about, such as like tablets or other accessories or stuff like that? Let me know, and I'd definitely be willing to do another video about other things that I should review. Also, let me know about your thoughts about my recommendations for different brands or products or whatever. I love to know your comments and ideas. As always guys, thanks for watching. If you wanted to watch last week's video, you can watch it here, and if you want to see what I talked about, you can see it down here. Thanks for watching guys. Remember to hit that like and subscribe button down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!